Today's episode of the BS Podcast brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor, the only fan-friendly app for buying and selling tickets for sports and music, and now Hamilton, because apparently tickets are going to be available. So
How'd that
there's
happen?
a Hamilton ticket boycott. It should go great. It's November. Hockey, basketball, NFL, college football, college hoops. You need SeatGeek. Drop your old ticket app. Use one bill for 2016. Buy tickets, enter stadiums on your phone. Download the free SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. We're also brought to you by Life After. Sal, do you ever wonder what happens to our digital lives when we're gone?
What does I was going to ask you that. You have the answer there?
Yeah, apparently, we could be brought back to life through our online personalities. What if that happened?
Oh, good.
That would be crazy. In a new series from GE Podcast Theater in Panoply called Life After, the creators of last year's award-winning The Message explores those very questions. Listen, subscribe, and download Life After today on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get podcasts. We're also brought to you by TheRinger.com and the Ringer Podcast Network. Check out Channel 33 because we have a new gaming podcast. We have WWE. There was a big summer, what was yesterday? Survivor Series.
Yeah, I missed it totally.
And we had the guys in the studio. They did a pregame, between matches, and then a postgame. We were like, oh, maybe the Goldberg-Lesnar match will be awesome. Mm-hmm. It's over in 3 minutes.
Was
Incredible post game. Yeah, it was good.
Right.
I like these mess around Facebook Live Periscope thingies. But anyway, subscribe to Channel 33 on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever else. Let's start. The anniversary is upon us. They were very gracious to let us use some of their music. Maybe it'll uplift Sal's spirits.
You
Is
love
uplift
it.
the verb? I don't know. You went to Vegas.
I should be more excited. The Cowboys are winning, but there's no worse time to go 0-3 with your public picks than when you're in Las Vegas.
So every week on Facebook.com, you do this thing, Cousin Sal's Shirt thing. You've done pretty well this year.
I was 18-12 entering this week.
You had not taken the collar yet.
No.
And then it finally happened, 0-3. So you had the Jaguars, Lions kick a late field goal.
Lions kick a field goal with 22 seconds left. It's one of those things where they're not going to punt. It's close enough for a field goal. Jaguars call timeout, and they have to kick it, and it goes from 4 to 7, and the line is 6.5.
Almost dangerous to kick it, because what if it gets blocked? Like you think like, maybe they just
Lots of different things.
do a 5-yard punt or whatever. So then you lose the Rams. The Rams have a 10-0 lead.
90% of the game, they're shutting out the Dolphins. Dolphins look miserable.
Ryan Tannehill is Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
You're almost locking that one in at some point, and then all of a sudden, hell breaks loose. What was the third
Couldn't
one?
miss. Third one, I think you had it too. Arizona over Minnesota.
Special teams touchdown. Carson Palmer throwing the worst pick six
Yeah.
of the year. The worst pass of the year.
Well, it was kind of similar to the Gronk play from last Sunday, the last play, wasn't it? Like where he engaged the D-back and then forgot to turn off. I blame Palmer. It was a terrible pass and everything.
Yeah.
Thrown it, but Josh Brown at some point has to at least flail or something and make it look like he's being held or something. I don't know.
I think we did a pretty good job getting ready for this season with where we felt things were either going to go down or up for certain teams. Because Arizona was one that I was concerned about, specifically because of Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked good anyway. Now they can't block for him. And in that Minnesota game, I just saw somebody who just didn't have his confidence anymore.
Do you remember? I mean, it was always the case that if you put pressure on him, he was going to fail, you know. But do you ever remember a bigger fall from grace than Palmer, who was in the MVP talks last season, and now it's like, oh boy, he's bottom 6-7 quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, I would go the other way though. I just think he had a career year. No, I just think he had a great year.
Right.
You know, there wasn't. He had his best year probably since 2006, and he stayed healthy, and he had, they had a pretty good schedule.
Yeah. It's
He
the
had good
Beanie Baby
weapons.
effect. It's like, why are these things popular in the first place? Don't complain that they're worth nothing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I thought they were going to save their season in that game.
Yeah.
They did not. I think we can write them off. I'm reasonably confident. We can definitely write off Cincinnati.
It is interesting. I was going to say that it's not yet Thanksgiving, and we could reasonably say that Green Bay, Cincinnati, Carolina, and Arizona are done, right? I mean, those are 4 legitimate playoff teams last year.
Let's talk football,
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do
we'll
that.
audible to Ward versus Kovalev, which
Fine.
you went to, and
Yeah.
Goldberg Lesnar, because those are very important topics. So I think we should bang out the football first.
Let's do football.
So Cleveland has been mathematically eliminated. We can definitely cross
Let's
them
cross
off.
them off.
We can cross off the Niners. We can cross off the Jaguars, the Bears, the Jets. I think we can cross off the Rams.
Yes.
And we could also cross them off as an entertainment option for anyone who lives in the Los Angeles area, because over and over again, they've had some of the worst football games anyone's ever seen.
I think they should do the right thing and secede from the NFL. Forget about LA, which clearly doesn't like them. I mean, their home games, it's 108 degrees.
Right.
They're serving warm water bottles. Or it's raining. It never rains in LA. Like
I was
this
thinking
is a
that.
sign from above. You don't
What were
belong
the
here.
odds? It's rained 3 times all year. It
Yeah.
rains exactly during that game.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think we could cross off Cincy.
Yep.
I actually think we can cross off San Diego.
I know.
The tough schedule left. Miami's got 2 games on them. Miami already beat them. So any tiebreaker, Miami wins. So they'd have to jump 3 games over them for the wild card. I just don't see it.
I don't either, especially in that division where it's probably going to have 2 wild cards anyway. They'd have to run the table to go 10-6.
I would not cross off any other team. I think you can't cross off the Houston, Tennessee, Indianapolis, any of those. I wouldn't cross off any NFC South team. Would you?
No.
I don't think I don't know who's getting to 10 wins in that division.
There are teams like New Orleans that are 4-6 that have to
Not
go
cross
10.
them off.
I know they're fun to watch, but you
Can't
can
do
even
it.
bet on them. All right.
Can't do it yet.
All right. They're not going anywhere. Obviously, Tampa Bay is now a game out. That's weird.
Buffalo is still lingering at 5-5. The
Yeah, we'll give them another week.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh, you feel like one of them should be crossed off, and yet neither of them, because it's going to be just them staring at each other until week 17. Pittsburgh has not left themselves a lot of room for error here, and neither is Baltimore.
Still favored to win that division,
They should
though,
be.
right?
Yeah, but they,
They're the best team when they
Roethlisberger,
get going. Yeah.
Roethlisberger, I don't know. I didn't think they looked that good in that Cleveland game. I actually thought Cleveland, I know they're the 35-minute team, but
They had to do. It was hard to tell. Like they just kept giving it to Bell. They're like, let's just do as little
Right.
as possible to win. It seemed like their defense could score 3 times if they wanted to.
I had him in my DraftKings lineup yesterday.
Let's talk about that. You're Mr. Fantasy all of a sudden.
DraftKings
DraftKings and in our league, you won a. It looked like you may blow it when you have R. Kelly.
Fat Rob.
Fat Rob, sensation. Pick up. What'd you get him for, $1 or 0?
I think I spent $0 on him.
It is
on
weird.
Fat
Like,
Rob.
now guys are winning games in the league with R. Kelly and Jay Ajayi. Guys they picked up for like $1 or $2 and Proceeds and it's crazy.
I don't feel like I was throwing shit against the wall because I saw him the previous week and I just liked him. I was like,
Yeah.
who's this guy? And then it's like, he's undrafted. He's 24. I was like,
Right.
It's not like I have a second good running back, but
But it was down a point with like 4 minutes left. It was unclear if they were going to get the ball again, the Redskins.
it was so dramatic.
Yeah.
I know people hate listening to fantasy talk, but I needed like 20 points from him.
Right.
He scored. I was still a point. I needed them to get the ball back, and I needed him to basically get a first down.
Right.
And he ran for like 70 yards. I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Fantasy can still be fun sometimes,
crazy.
as much as I hate it.
Now you're like 2 games out of first.
I know, and I didn't have Gronk either. But, let's talk about. Well, actually, let's talk about your Vegas trip.
Yeah.
So you're in Vegas, and you go 0-3, and people are being mean to you.
It just stinks. Just like walking to the bathroom and stuff. Like, hey, 0-3. Like, there's no escaping anything, If I'm not as recognizable as you, but when I am, it's bad, And especially when you go 0-3. And I was in the sports book rooting hard. Like, who else? No one else is rooting for Jacksonville in that game. Everyone's rooting for Detroit. So I'm freaking out. I'm like throwing my hat down when Detroit
Right.
kicks a meaningless field goal. And and then people catch on. It's bad.
So did you feel like people knew what your picks were? Because I look at this as a positive. They were in a
guess-
casino
no,
and people knew what the Cousin Sal sure thing picks were.
I'm not saying dozens, but 1 or 2 or 3 came up to me and said something harsh, and I should die. I lost 3 games on 1 possession, and it's like, you are the freaking worst. I'm not listening to you. You go back to your cousin. Maybe he can find you another job. It's all terrible shit. But I deserve
This is the responsibility you assumed
I should not
by,
be going
by
0-3.
naming your thing Cousin Sal sure thing. You should have named it Cousin Sal's almost sure thing.
I'm gonna change it to Cousin Sal's Wednesday thing. I don't know. I gotta
Cousin
figure it out.
Sal's thing that I'm kind of sure of. Well, you were due. You hadn't taken the collar
Yeah.
all year.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
have to
a-
shake it. It's just weird. Now you look at it's like when you get an offender bender, you don't want to drive the rest of the day. You're like, oh boy, I don't know. It's very strange now, but
Yeah,
I'm going to get my bearings.
You're shaking. You're like
We're
Carson
pick
Palmer.
Winners. We're going to pick winners.
You know, there were some weird games from a spread standpoint yesterday. Like that Rams-Dolphins flip was weird. Lions kicking the field goal. The Pats had an amazing... Now, the Pats line went from 13.5. It dropped to 12.5, but they were up 30-17. Got a first down, first and goal from the 2.
Yeah.
But enough time to run at least one more play, and they run Blunt trying to score.
Right.
Gets tackled, and then they do the kneel.
Right.
But that was pretty exciting and dramatic. And then there was one other one.
Well,
the Seahawks and the Eagles game. The Eagles were kind of lingering at some point for the back door. But yeah,
So I think every team except Cincinnati and Kansas City covered. Oh, now and the Packers, I guess, after last night covered on a 2-team teaser, favored or underdog.
Wow.
And we didn't make nearly enough money. We had the Chiefs, right? We had the Chiefs on one.
The Chiefs that was the big surprise. You know, we bet on Andre Ward. We parlayed him with 3 other NFL entities.
Yeah, money line.
One of which was the Chiefs. After I talked you out of making the Giants there because I was like, Eli's Satan. We can't throw Eli in a 2-team teaser. This is what he does. He waits for us to do this, and then he kills us. And they're up 16-6 or down 16-6. I felt good about that. But the Chiefs Tampa, I got to say, as it got close to 10 o'clock on Sunday West Coast time, I went and I looked at Tampa. All the they played a really tough schedule, and they've kind of hung around, and they were only 4-5, and I don't know. I started to get nervous about that one a little bit. If we could have avoided the bet, I would have. But
well, you start thinking fantasy wise, like all right, skill position. Who would I start? Would I start Winston in a normal game, or
you just go
Alex
through?
Smith? Would I start Mike Evans or some guy who I'd never heard of on the Chiefs? It's like, oh man.
The other thing that made me nervous just watching it was they were doing the FSU chant.
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh, don't. And then afterwards, I couldn't believe it because I thought in my head, like, I wonder if this makes Winston feels like he's back. And then afterwards, he was like, I love playing there. They did the chant.
Wow.
Like, it was like a home game for him.
Yeah.
But, the bottom line is the Chiefs only scored 17 points, and they're having trouble getting over 20.
I think they were looking ahead, too. They play at Denver this week.
Yeah.
That happens to teams.
We thought there was going to be 3 AFC West playoff teams. We just kind of locked that in. Now I don't think so because they have to play each other.
You're saying Dolphins or Bills still one of them?
I think Miami's schedule is too easy. Don't you?
I wrote it down. I know we go over their schedule every week.
It just seems I can't figure out how they don't get to 10 wins now. They just have to go 4-2.
Here's how they don't get to 10 wins. If that Patriots game means something.
I don't think it's going to mean anything.
You don't think like the Raiders have 3 losses and Patriots have 2? Like they may have,
Raiders have some tough games left too.
Or whoever ends up with 3. Whoever wins the West probably have 3 losses, right? I don't know.
Maybe
4.
My team was bummed me out yesterday because we looked sloppy. Defense played a little better than they had in the previous. We're up like 13-10 for a while. It's like, come on.
Right.
Kaepernick's doing stuff. We still somehow got to 30 points. They get to 30 points every week.
That's fine.
Against Seattle, they only got to 24, but they should have gotten to 30. They just didn't score in the last thing.
How excited should they be for a road game at San Francisco? Even though
and it was
coming
wet.
Off a loss, it's wet.
Yeah, it was one of those, let's get out of here without anybody blowing out an ACL. Lewis came back, which looked good. But I got to say, I think Seattle's the best team right now. I don't know if that's going to be the case 2 months from now, but they're the most complete team. They do the most things. Wilson looks great again. The one catch, though, the running back got hurt. Procease.
Yeah, he might not. That could be it for him.
And he had like this 70-yard touchdown early.
And that was it.
And just watching, I was like, Jesus, this guy's like, really? They had to get this guy?
And they cut Kristen Michael. And Thomas Rawls, whatever.
Thomas Rawls, who played a lot in that game and looked good, but, just came back from an injury.
Injury prone, sure.
But if anything happens to him, that changes their destiny. But Wilson looks like Wilson again. Defense is good.
I think there's 2 top-tier teams, yours and the Seahawks.
What's interesting, though, is they have to come to Dallas to beat you unless you lose 2 more games.
Right now.
You won 9 straight.
It's unbelievable. That was a weird – that could have been a, that could have been a weird game, the Ravens steal from, before Thanksgiving. But, man, they just kind of – just grind you out, these Cowboys. And the defense is playing harder than I've ever seen.
Brian Curtis had a good piece in the Ringers, Winners, and Losers today about how it looked like a pothole game for the Cowboy. Yeah. Everything's going great. You hit the pothole.
I like that, pothole.
And it did have that feeling for a little while. And, I was going against Dak in fantasy, and against our friend Brad. I was like, why the hell did they start Dak? That's crazy. And then Dak.
The way it's set up, I know this is going to sound like a pro Romo thing, but the way it's set up, he can't go for less than 300 yards. No, I'm telling you.
Oh, boy.
The offense is so...
Come on.
Well, we can get into this. Fine, Prescott's a starter, but after that speech, let's just agree that Tony Romo's the most important athlete of our generation. Let's just agree.
Some of the ex-athletes on Sunday morning did not like the speech.
What did they say? It was selfish?
Yeah, they said he was a little me first-ish.
It's so stupid for any athlete to say anything like that. It's ridiculous.
It's like, why are you making it about yourself, Tony Romo?
What's he supposed to say? He says do all great things about Dak Prescott. He earned it. What more do you have to say?
Is it weird that I think Elliott is the rookie of the year, but Dak is a better MVP candidate?
Ooh.
Thinking about that one yesterday.
Why?
I don't know. I was thinking that yesterday. Who's more like? Could they win without? Could they have won for 2.5 months without Elliott?
That's just
with
something.
Alfred Morris running the ball. I'd be like, maybe. But if it wasn't Dak, they're like 3-7.
I think that's something you just
You
wrote
put it Matt
down
Castle?
mid-afternoon. You're like, I know what'll get Sal mad. I'm gonna say Dak. I'm gonna say something that makes no sense at all.
Why does
Dak's
it?
the MVP.
What's your record if Alfred Morris plays those first 10 games? You're 7-3.
Last week you said the offensive line's the MVP, right?
Right. But we
know.
can't. I looked it up. We can't vote for 5 people at the same time. If Alfred Morris is your running back the whole year, are you 6-4?
All right, but if Tony Romo and
No,
Ezekiel
Tony
Elliott
Romo's
are,
out. Tony Romo's out. Tony Romo's out. Dak is your QB the whole time. Take out
Romo's
Dak and put in Matt Castle. Put in Matt Castle as your QB all year. What's your record? You're 4-6 or 3-7.
Sure, he's bad.
So I think he's more valuable. But I think Elliott's the rookie of the year. And I know that makes no sense. It's the dumbest thing I've said in the podcast. All right, fine.
I still can't get over Tony Romo's out part.
Tony Romo's what?
He's out. When you say Tony Romo's out, whatever.
He'll be heard from. Romo running from the sidelines. Mm-hmm. Do you think he'd have an orgasm?
Running from the sidelines.
Just watching him running in from the sidelines to come into the game. What would happen?
That's very private what goes on there for me. But I will say this. It's much more depressing seeing him in pads and a headset than it is just the backward cap or the D cap and,
What team do you want him to go to next year?
LA Rams? Is that possible? Can they get them?
I don't know. From what we saw from Jared Goff yesterday, I think it's not impossible.
Oh, there you
I
go,
was thinking
everybody.
the Texans would be great.
How did they split up that money though?
Can't they just buy out? I mean, Osweiler's $72 million, but it's not all guaranteed.
I don't know what it's guaranteed. I'd have to look into that.
Broncos?
Broncos would be good. Where do you want to go somewhere with a good defense and a decent running game? I think
it's got to be someone who's pretty close,
not the Jets.
Yeah, it can't be somebody who's rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be somebody who's decent right now.
What about Miami? If the great Ryan Tannehill hadn't performed that miracle yesterday, that might have been a nice spot.
Man, that's tough, man. A lot of teams have quarterbacks that they don't mind.
Yeah,
Houston. I would say Houston,
and the ones that don't.
Arizona, if they bought out Carson Palmer.
Yeah, I think it's 1 year. I think that would be a decent spot.
Arizona would be fun. So, 6 fun games over the last 2 weeks.
Only 6? What do you mean?
Like legitimately fun games that you would watch from start to finish. Cowboys, Steelers, Broncos, Saints, Dolphins, Chargers, Seahawks, Patriots. And then yesterday, I thought Cards, Vikes was really entertaining.
Yeah.
And the Redskins, Packers game was awesome. That was a really fun Sunday night game. Great. I really liked that one.
Yeah,
I missed Al Michaels. Tirico did a nice job filling in, but I think Al Michaels would have had a lot of fun with that one.
So what is that, 3 weeks for Michaels? He sits?
Yeah. Good move.
Yeah.
Got to protect Al Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
You need him for the playoffs.
It's too crazy.
Can't mess around with Al Michaels.
Announcer should get buys too. Why not?
Yeah, it was great. He didn't ask for them to get more games.
No.
Hey, you know how I always tell you how you never know when burglars are watching your house?
Yeah.
You never know when burglars are watching your house.
Oh, you still don't know. Okay.
They might notice Amazon packages piling on your front step. Nobody parked in your driveway for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. Well, with Simply Safe Home Security System, you don't have to worry about that stuff. They protect your family with 24/7 professional security monitoring and enough sensors to defend your entire home. You get 24/7 professional monitoring, just $15 a month. That's less than half of what the other guys charge. And by having it, you could save up to 20% on your home insurance. Try Simply Safe right now. Go to simplysafebs.com And you get a 60-day money-back guarantee as well as free shipping on your order and a free keychain remote. Do you think Corolla has Simply Safe for his garage
cars?
with the 18? He must. That's Simply Safe with 2 eyes. Once again, simplysafebs.com. All right, so we're going to guess the lines. We're still going to talk about Ward Kovalev. We're going to talk about Lesnar and Goldberg, and then Joe House is going to call, and we're going to do the Callaway Part 3 for the Thursday Thanksgiving games.
Good, that's smart.
Okay,
all right.
so let's do the 3. Maybe we should let's do the lines now, and then we'll come back to them.
Well, I think you wanted to, though. We're still Don Julioing it up.
Oh, for Monday night?
Yeah, because it's in Mexico. We should at least
Great
consider
call.
it.
Great call.
Oakland's favored by 6 over Houston.
Great call. You host this show better than I do. The Don Julio is the world's original handcrafted tequila with multiple unique tequilas, including Don Julio 1942, the best luxury tequila you'll ever drink. Every week we do the shot of the week. Did we win last week? I think we did.
Last week.
We did.
We did?
I had
Who was
more.
it?
I think I had
New
the
Orleans,
Monday night.
Carolina?
Yeah, I had more. I hit both of those. So
All right.
yeah. So we got tonight the
Oh,
Raiders.
no, you know what you had? You had Giants over Cincinnati. Wasn't that it? Or maybe you had New Orleans. Can you remember?
Did I have the Giants?
Bengals, Giants.
I had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It
I
wouldn't
think
be.
I took the points.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
So tonight.
You can tell how much this means to us.
No, it means a lot. I think I hit both
All right.
last week. Raiders, Texans. Raiders are like 5.5.
6 now, I see.
It's 6. I just think they're better. I just do. I think they're better. The Raiders.
They're for sure better. I'm on a mission to not take any bad quarterbacks anymore in public.
Yeah.
And I'm going with the Raiders here. Definitely
This
should
seem-
have the fans. It's a weird game in Mexico. Yet you don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it'll do to a team, but I'm taking the Raiders.
I can't see the Raiders scoring less than 24 points in this game.
Right.
And I can't see the Texans scoring more than 24 points. So there you go. So it would have to be a Vikings-Cardinals situation where they get the special teamer.
Right.
They had the terrible. Barnwell called it a pick 12 in his column today, which I liked.
Because it could have gone the other way.
Because it should have been they should have scored a
That's
touchdown.
excellent.
It was a 12-point swing. They picked 12.
Yeah.
I
And you
like
can't
that.
even call it a pick 14 because everyone misses an extra point.
That's true. And by the way, let's all stop complaining about this. This was the most boring play of every game. Was the PAT? I'm with Jalen Rose.
No, I'm not going to stop
No,
complaining.
it's
I
great.
hate it.
Now I watch
It's great.
PATs. I want to see if they go in.
It's great. You get happy when someone misses an extra point.
Yeah, I don't mind
shake
it.
my head in disgust.
I don't mind it.
Really? It's terrible.
Why don't they move it to the 30-yard line instead of the 33?
Just get rid of it. Just
No,
everyone
why?
goes for 2s.
Why?
Because I'm so used to it going in. It's like going in your car and turning on the
Don't
air
even have
conditioning.
it. Just make touchdown 7 then.
You turn the air conditioning on every time you expect cool air, but then every 10th time wiper fluid shoots out and hits you in the eye. Like, whoa, let's go back to the air. Like, what do you want to see a block? I don't
Tate,
know.
do you like it?
I like it.
Tate, will you delete this from my archives when Gostkowski misses an extra point that cost me the Super Bowl this year? Because there's like a 60% chance it's going to happen.
More now?
Stevie G was the most stable thing in my life.
Yeah.
And now he can't make extra points, and
Did
I
he miss
never know.
yesterday?
Yeah, he
He's
missed
one of the
another
misses?
one.
Yeah. I don't know. You want kickers deciding games like this? It's bad enough when they're lining up for 40-yard field goal after 59 minutes of bashing heads.
The Giants and Bengals started out 6-6 because they went 0 for 2 on PATs.
Yeah.
Mike Nugent, I think, just misses every other PAT at this
Right.
point. But yeah, I don't know. I like it.
All right.
It keeps me invested and motivated, and I don't know.
It sure is a lot of fun to bet on when you can't count on a kicker.
It's got to be at least one of the reasons why all these lines are just
Yeah.
out of whack now. All right.
All right.
3 Thursday games. I like Jason Gay, who is a friend of the Ringer at the Wall Street Journal. He had a tweet. Somebody was complaining about what he was retweeting somebody who was like, why don't we complain about Thursday football when it's the Thanksgiving football?
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Gay was like, because we need Thanksgiving football because then we don't have to talk to our family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just want to remind everybody that it's very, very important that we keep these 3 games. Did you see they're going to mess around with the London game?
What are they going to do?
They're going to move the 9:30 London game to 1 o'clock. So that it just becomes part of the pack.
They
I
did
was
that-
disappointed.
They did that a few years ago.
I don't like that.
No, like make it earlier. But But, our friend Alec, it's funny. It's like, I was like, hey, why are ratings down in the NFL? He's like, well, you and Simmons talk about it a lot, but you don't really know what you're talking about. I was like, well, what does that mean? He's like, it's because everything's spread out. You got Thursday night, Sunday night, London, and that means the early slate is going to have bad games. Like, but it's always been like this. You're just adding 2-3 London games. Like, why is it this year? It didn't make sense.
I do think if they got rid of the Thursday night game completely, it would have a dramatic impact on the quality of play.
Right.
And then
but
also,
it's been around for years. Like that, you can't say that's why ratings are down.
No,
Thursday
I
night's
know.
been around,
No,
yeah.
but I just think that would help the cause.
Yeah. I'm just saying Alex should shut his mouth.
Alex should definitely shut up. Did you know the Redskins, they played last night in a game that ended at like 11:30 at night, and then they're playing on Thanksgiving at 4:30?
I know.
That's insane.
It's good.
How does that happen? What makes the schedule maker go, hey, here's a good idea?
That is weird. And on the road, too.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. All right, Minnesota at Detroit, first game.
I struggled with this. I have the Lions by 1.
I said Lions by 2. It's Lions by 3. It's a rematch.
Not a lot of respect for the Vikes.
This could kill our bet. We have the Lions to not make the playoffs with the 49ers and Browns, who we feel good about right now.
I think the Vikings defense started to look a little bit like the Vikings defense yesterday. They're getting some guys back. Mm-hmm. They're flying around. They were after Palmer that whole game. Arizona was going all out trying to win that one. And I don't know. They just looked like the team from the first 4 weeks.
Right.
And I'm very interested to see what they do with the Lions because I'm still not sold on this Lions team. The Jaguars were flying around against them yesterday.
Well, I'm not sold on Minnesota's offense, but I am not sold. I mean, Detroit had, you know how many rushing yards they had yesterday? 14 rushing yards.
They can't run the ball at all.
They had like 8 going into the last drive. They won this game a few weeks ago in overtime. Yeah, we need this badly. We need the Vikings all of a sudden. Otherwise, the Lions, I mean, the Packers aren't catching these teams, right?
I don't think so. I was thinking that the Lions are just not good.
Yeah.
And that every year there's a team that just swoons down the stretch that had a lot of luck with like some of these close games. So if they lose this one, they go at New Orleans, home Chicago, at Giants, at Dallas, home Green Bay. Mm-hmm. The only one you would say that they'll definitely win is the home game against Chicago. Like they might just go 1-5 down the stretch.
They'll be underdogs probably for the rest. Right.
I'm not sold on.
I'm not either. And if they do win the division, we'll get our money back on the Giants in the first wild card game at Detroit.
I won't be betting on that one. I don't trust Eli. I think that Minnesota would be the team I would place the wager on if I had to right now.
Right now?
Yeah. So I think we're okay.
Let's see if you can. Wait.
I think we're okay. I think that D is going to win some games for them.
Wait, let me just see if there's a division.
Plus, they're built for the cold weather a lot more than Detroit is.
Detroit minus 110, Minnesota plus 180.
I like Minnesota.
Yeah.
All right, second game.
Washington at Dallas.
Wow. This is a great game.
Are you going to start R. Kelly again?
I might. Fat Rob.
R. Kelly. Does he urinate on the Cowboys defense or can he fly? That's what Berman should be using. Some of these. R.
Kelly. I had the Cowboys by 5.5. You should take care of business this game.
I had Cowboys by 6. It's 6.5. So I win that one.
There's some cheap touchdown potential in this one.
You think so?
If you're up 11 with 5 minutes to go and Washington has the ball, would you want the Cowboys minus 6 or would you want Washington plus 6?
I like Cousins. He's very
Cousins.
almost beat up his general manager on the field after
I
the
love
game.
that too.
What was that? Is that going to get you an extended deal? The guy goes to hug you and you
was
just
so awkward.
you mad dog him and then rub his head violently.
He bet on himself, which I liked.
Yeah.
Cousins. He could have probably ended up with some version of that Osweiler contract, and now he's going to end up with a Flacco contract that will destroy his team like Joe Flacco's contract destroyed the Baltimore Ravens.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. And good for Zeke Elliott. Broke Dorsett's team rookie record with 6 games left.
Unbelievable.
6 games left. Come on.
And that was like a semi-iconic rookie season by Dorsett.
Yeah.
I remember that season. Oh, my God. This guy's amazing.
All right. Pittsburgh at Indianapolis is the night game.
Ooh.
Good one. Both teams 5-5. Don't want to call a loser leaves town because
you can't.
Well, they're both very
They're
winnable
both in bad divisions.
Divisions.
I had the Steelers by 2.5. I still have no respect for this Colts team. I don't know why.
You win this one. I said Steelers by 2. It's 3.
Tennessee defensively, they have this cornerback everybody picks on, Cox, and they're one of those teams you can tell in the first couple minutes whether they don't have it.
Right.
And yet they did rally back, and it was 21-17, and they were kind of lingering in that game. I didn't like their game plan. I think they could have just run the ball down Indianapolis' throat.
I think
Didn't
sometimes
like what they did.
the Colts play to gain respect. Not very often, but this was one of the weeks. And we said last week, like, Tennessee put together back-to-back wins. They're the zigzag team of the year. Win-loss, win-loss, win-loss the last 6 weeks. And we want to root for them. But
Cover T.Y. Hilton. How about that idea?
That's nice, too.
Just follow him around. He's the only guy that can really hurt you on
Let's
the field.
start with them. They're at Chicago Sunday.
And they also gave up just one of the worst passes, that Frank Gore, that long pass.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like a Madden play where, you're running against your kid, where you run over to the right side and he brings the safety over and then the whole left side of the field's open. And Frank Gore couldn't even score on it because he's so old. He's wide open. There's nobody within 50 yards of him. He still couldn't score.
Wouldn't have scored. Yeah.
All right, so those are our Thursday games.
So Tennessee at Chicago will start Sunday.
Those are good, 3 good Thursday games. There's not a stinker in those games.
Yeah, but let me tell you this. You know that bet you could bet a team to win by 22 or more points?
Yeah.
In the last 8 of the last 9 years has been a blowout. And you usually get good odds on those 22 plus. Depending on the team, you get 4-1, 6-1, 5-1. We should bet every game. Like Detroit won 45-14 last year. Carolina beat Dallas 33-14. Although that's not 22 plus, but look at
if you had to
let's
pick
look at these games.
If you had to pick one of those 6 teams to blow out the other team, who would you
blow
pick?
it out?
I'd pick the Steelers. I don't think the Colts will be able to stop them.
I can't say. I don't know. Maybe Detroit. I don't know. Anyway, just bet all of them.
Another thing with that Steelers-Colts game, I bet a lot of Pittsburgh fans are at that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Traveling on
Be one of
Thanksgiving.
those 20,000. Yeah, the Pittsburgh fans are crazy, though. All right, Sunday games.
Tennessee at Chicago.
Terrible game. Titans by 1.
Titans by 1. I said Titans by 3. It's 2.5. So I get it. It's a tough one. No one's touching Chicago the rest of the year, right?
They're toxic.
Yeah.
Somebody else got hurt in their team yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah, they had another bad injury. I can't remember who it was, though.
Jacksonville at Buffalo.
Terrible game. Bills by 6.
I said Bills by 8.5, but I'm very angry at the Jags. That's why I went so high. You get it. It's Bills by 7. I mean, we were screaming for Blake Bortles to get out. Have you seen him throw? He throws like he's
snake bit.
There's nothing at stake. Like he's having a catch with his nephew on the beach who's visiting from out of town.
He's snake bit. His receivers are pretty good too.
I can't believe how bad he is.
He needs to fall behind by 20-23 every game before he heats up.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then against the Lions, it just never happened.
I don't know why it's going on. Why? I mean, he was like one of the most. I think he might have been the most improved quarterback from rookie to year 2, but. Buffalo, we went over the schedule.
It was smoke and mirrors, so it was all garbage time stats.
Jacksonville at Oakland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Miami at the Jets. They're favored in at least 4 of those. They don't go 10-6, right?
Who are we talking about?
Buffalo.
I don't think they're good enough.
At Oakland, Pittsburgh, Miami at the Jets.
Rex will screw one of those up.
Yeah.
They feel like 9-7 to me.
Cincinnati at Baltimore.
Ooh, another terrible game. Could this be a Sunday afternoon I spend with my family? Please don't tell me. Please don't say that to me.
We had the option, DirecTV, we spoke about the fans' choice.
Yeah.
And they were happy about it. And they're like, oh, thanks and why don't you guys decide the fan games next week? And I'm looking at these. I'm like, these are garbage. I don't want to decide.
Can the fan games be people going apple picking and people returning gifts to Best Buy?
That'll be one of the screens. You show your family apple picking.
And wide shot of Best Buy?
On A, we have Cincy, Baltimore, and then there's Bill at the pumpkin farm.
Here's Bill. Here's Bill at the batting cage with his son. Well, Ravens and Bengals is awful.
Well, as you
the
said
Bengals
before,
are now the most unwatchable team in the league. They lost their only 2 fun players, Bernard and AJ Green. They have no other fun players, though.
Right.
I had the Ravens by... Can I change my pick? Because I didn't know Bernard was out for the year.
What do you care if Bernard's out? He's not even
well, I went
started.
4.5, but now I want to go 5. I don't have to.
All right, do what you want.
No. I'll do Ravens 4.5.
You win at 4.5. You would have tied at 5. I said 3.
All right. You said 3?
I said 3. I don't know why. That was dumb. I should have. AJ Green. That's it. But they do have interesting players on defense, like Burfict. These guys could all beat up a fan at any time. You never know.
This is
so worth watching.
All the Bengals have left is to start the best and biggest and most disgusting football melee of the past 12 years.
Right.
That's really the end game now for them.
It's just protests now.
I was thinking about them with the Artest melee. They was the anniversary, and there were some pieces about it online over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what NFL team could start the Artest melee? It's like, oh, the Bengals. They've tried 5 times already. This will maybe be the season.
Arizona at Atlanta.
Oh, I like that game. There's a good game.
Yeah.
That's kind of semi-fun.
That's okay.
2 birds. Mm-hmm. And the Falcons by 5.
I said 4, and it's 4.5.
So
yeah,
we
maybe
split
that
it.
should be higher. I don't know. Trust Arizona. On
I don't
road.
trust Atlanta. We really sure Arizona's just going to roll over for the rest of the season?
No, I guess
that they
not.
wasn't just a
And now
dumb
with the
loss to
coach,
Minnesota?
Maybe they step it up for Arians or something.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'm confused by. Giants at Browns.
Oh, that's a horrible game. I don't want to watch 1 minute of that game.
Yeah.
Giants by 6?
Why'd you say, like, I said 11.5. I was way off on this. You were right. It's 6.5. Why is it 6.5?
Giants aren't that good?
How could anything be less than 14 with the Browns anymore? They lost by 15, 21, and 25 the last 3
The
weeks.
Giants had to come from behind to beat the Bears at home. They're just not good. They're a schedule they're 7 and 3. That's a schedule 7 and 3.
Playing the Browns. Like I don't. You see Kessler. These guys can't get out of their own way. He's not even playing. They can't. They can't even score in garbage time.
Normally, I would say let's tease them. Mm-hmm. I'm never throwing Eli in a tease for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm never doing it. I don't trust that guy.
It is a weird team because they're just starting to run the ball now, but they're like I think Landon Collins leads the team in sacks. Or maybe before last week for sure. But I don't know what to make of these guys.
Peter King was making a Defensive Player of the Year case for Landon Collins.
I don't know.
How is Von Miller not the Defensive Player of the Year every year unless he's hurt?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody destroy offensive lines like that.
As long as J.J. Watt's not in the league, it's Von Miller probably.
I've written off J.J. Watt.
Speaking of write-offs, Rams.
I just said that to hurt Robert Mace. Is this a day game or a night game?
This is still day.
Oh, this is a horrible.
The Rams Saints.
The Rams are the most unwatchable team in football.
It's so bad. And why are we not pounding the under in every game? Like they do just enough to not turn it over, and their defense is good.
Todd Gurley should pretend he got hurt.
Yeah.
Like, why waste 6 games of just going 27 carries for 80 yards and
I agree.
Just pretend you have like that
do it.
Plantar fasciitis. Is it plantar or plantar?
Plantar
fasciitis. That's what I would do if I was Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
I had plantar fasciitis. I can't play anymore.
That's a good fantasy team.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, become one of the great LA actors, Todd Gurley. Just say
I can't play. I can't. My foot. I don't know. It's something deep. I can't figure it out.
As far as injuries go, is there anything less threatening than it sounds as punctured lung?
Or perforated lung. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It sounds like you're going to be dead.
Gronk, he might miss a year. He might play this week. I don't understand. Like, you should be done forever.
Perforated is not a word you ever want associated with your body. Yeah. Perforated or punctured. I never want.
Punctured's bad. You puncture a balloon, it's done. It's it. It's going to go kill a dolphin. That's it.
Todd Gurley. The reason I said that about Gurley is we have just incredible amounts of evidence now that running backs have about 75 games of carries in them.
Yeah.
There's outliers like the Curtis Martin types, but for the most part,
games, 5 years. I think you went high.
It's there. That's what I mean. It's 5 years.
Yeah.
It's 5 really good years of just banging the line. Mm-hmm. And I think like Arian Foster is a good example of great. Now Jamal Charles, like over and over again, we see it. It's around 5 good
Priest
years.
Holmes, all these
Priest
guys,
Holmes, all these guys.
Yeah.
Gurley already has a year in the books, and now he's about to waste 6 of those 75 games. I
gotta be smart.
I know they're going to keep playing them, but
I had -6.
For which ones?
New Orleans, Rams at Saints.
I had 5.
All right, I'm going to get it at 7. I think they've seen enough of the Rams.
Do you want to give your thoughts on Aaron Donald's roughing the passer penalty that swung the game?
It's terrible. I see. It didn't even knock him down. When Tannehill's running up the field to spot the ball, like almost immediately, it's not a roughing call. I don't think. It's like stupid. Like the ref should be allowed to slap him, but not throw a flag.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the call, or you didn't like?
No,
I
I just
stupid.
The Rams, and this is a Jeff Fisher thing, and it's 10 years now. It's just they do dumb things at the worst possible times.
I didn't like the missed field goal either. That cost me.
I want Jeff Fisher to stay. I feel the same way about him as I do about the
fun.
PAT rule. Yeah, it's more fun when Jeff Fisher's trying to go. He's right on pace to go 500 again. He's 4-6.
We could do a lot better in Jeff Fisher's department and the kicking. But
It's just nice to know we have like an exact
You're crazy.
median for NFL coaching. He's perfect. It's like Jeff Fisher. You better or worse than Jeff Fisher.
San Fran at Miami.
Is this a day game?
Yeah, we're not out
Wow.
yet. It's still another day game after this.
This is also a horrible game.
Yep.
And I have the Dolphins. I went high. I went 10. 10 for the Dolphins over the 49ers.
We both went 10. We both went too high, apparently. It's 8.
Okay, let's tease the Dolphins. Let's
All
tease
right.
them to 2.
You know what happens there.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, I think that's a good spot. That's a good one.
I wanted to throw, when we were doing teases yesterday, I wanted to put the Dolphins in a 3-teamer with the Pittsburgh and New England.
Anything would
And
work.
you thought I was kidding.
I wasn't sure
And
what
you made me feel bad about it, and then I backed off. Your reaction to it was what? Where? And if it had been 10-0 with 4 minutes to go, I would have thanked you.
You know what? I'll give you the money. I don't
No,
even care
I
anymore.
didn't feel good about it anyway. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am
I wasn't even.
Why am I
questioning
teasing
you.
Ryan Tannehill?
You had the line Dolphins -1. I was like, that's not the teased line, and then I was confused. And
I was going to tease
them.
them the +9.
Right.
Yeah.
San Diego at Houston, the last early game.
Not a great game either.
No.
I'll be honest. I think I spend the first part of Sunday with my kids.
Do you?
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
let's take a break. I'm going to call him and tell him. Dad?
Do you even know how to reach them?
Huh? Where are they?
Keep in mind, you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday with them, so it's not like
Good point.
It's Sunday. You're going to need some NFL relief. I had -3.5 for Houston.
I had the Texans by 2. I get that one.
Because it's 1. It's only 1.
San Diego's a deceiving 4-6, and yet every year there's a team like this where it's like they're 4-6, but it's like they're 4-6 because they fuck up in the fourth quarter of every game.
Right.
This isn't like let's throw out the statistics for a second. This team shoots itself in the foot. Like that's a skill.
Yeah.
To finish games, and they have the opposite of that skill.
I know I'm going to pick this game. And I know I'm going to have a lot on it, and I know I'm going to lose. And I don't know which side I'm going to. So I'll take fans from either side could sway me if they want to go the other way.
Is it time for the night games yet?
Yeah, it is.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
hold on. We got to talk about Indochino. Every man looks better in a suit. So why would you get one of those generic off-the-rack ones? Try Indochino. It's one of the largest made-to-measure menswear brands. Let them help you find great-fitting, high-quality suits and shirts at an incredible price. Here's how it works. Visit Indochino.com, INDOCHINO.com, or drop by one of their 9 North American showrooms. You pick from hundreds of fabrics and patterns. You choose your customizations, submit your body measurements, kick back, relax, and in just 4 weeks, you get the best and most stylish suit you've ever worn. This week, my listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for just $389 at Indochino.com as long as you enter BS at checkout. That's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. Shipping is free. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's Indochino.com. Promo code BS. Get ready to look like $1 million. The $1 million that Sal and I are going to win this week on all these teases. All right.
Seattle at Tampa Bay kicks off the late afternoon games.
That's a good game. I want to watch that game. Tampa's officially frisky.
Mm-hmm.
I have Seattle by 3.5, and I like Tampa just a tiny bit.
I said 4, and you're going to like Tampa even more at +6.
Oh.
So I get that one.
Oh. Okay. That's a little high.
7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're tied going into these last 4.
Great.
Carolina at Oakland.
Oakland by 6.5.
I said 3.5, and it is 3.5. Very low.
No.
Vegas is doing a weird thing with Oakland lines.
Well, I don't.
They really
So
are.
they think Kuechly's going to play.
It's even.
He's not going to play in that game.
Yeah, that would be the difference.
They're not.
Right?
The Raiders are going to score 40 points on them.
Tate, it's just that every game's the last ditch effort, right, for Carolina. So you have to, I think that's adjusted maybe 2 points because of that.
Yeah, I think they can only. I mean, they lost the Chiefs game. That was over. I think.
Tate, how many points are the Raiders going to score on Carolina without Luke Kuechly?
I mean, 30.
At least 30, right?
I'll take 30.
Yeah,
That was the scariest concussion I've ever, like, reaction.
It's a bad
like,
one.
I think, like,
Crying, yeah, it was hard.
if you had, like, a bad actor say, okay, try to duplicate a concussion. Like, if you had Pauly Shore try to do it, it's like the cartoonish look on his face was maddening.
He reminded me of the guy from the last 2 seasons of Friday Night Lights, Matt. I think his name was not Matt. The guy who was starting to have the issues with
What position? Did he play?
painkillers. I think he was a linebacker.
I can't remember now.
He
Yeah.
looked like the guy. It felt
Same
like a
thing.
Friday Night Lights scene.
All right. New England at the Jets.
Oh
You're nervous for this one.
no!
Oh, wait, I just saw your line. You're not nervous for
I'm
this
not
one.
nervous at all. I had the Pats by 11.
Yeah, I said 7.5. It's 9, so I get it barely.
Oh, that's stupid. We'll run it up in that one. We owe the
You think
Jets.
so?
Yeah, we owe the Jets a little.
Yeah.
I got a little something extra for the Jets.
Let me ask you this. Donald Trump said, quote, Tom Brady is totally innocent of the Deflategate. Did you laugh? What did I make you?
I appreciated the thoughts of the president-elect.
You know, there's hundreds and hundreds of pages of the what's the report again? The Wells report, the dubious Wells report. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know which way to go on this. Then Donald Trump says something like that. I was like, oh yeah, okay, he definitely did it.
The Trump Belichick stuff, the Trump Brady stuff has presented an interesting conundrum for some Pats fans.
He's declared war on Hamilton. That might be my favorite tweet. He's like, oh, Hamilton and all this. He's like,
Overrated.
which I hear is highly overrated. It's like the one thing everyone agrees on is like
That
Hamilton's great. It's the
Yeah,
best.
there's never been a counter opinion on Hamilton ever.
overrated.
That one person has ever taken the other side.
He's amazing. You have a sense of humor, you know. That's all. He's great.
You don't think he sent Pence there as a distraction because the
maybe.
Trump University thing got settled, right?
I don't know. Oh, interesting.
Weird timing, right? Send Pence to Hamilton.
Right.
These guys are smart guys. You kind of know what might happen with Pence going to Hamilton. Turns into a whole weekend. Not a shocker that it unfolded the way it did.
Right. He needed something to tweet
Happened
about.
to be the exact same time the Trump University thing got settled.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It struck me as odd timing.
You know, Jimmy Carter had trouble with hairspray. You know, a lot of the presidents have, wage war on these musicals.
You should have thought of something when after the 0-3 Cousin Sal Sure thing. You should have thought of some sort of, maybe Brad could have declared war on Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in your life to distract it.
Right. Oh, there's no time. You're right.
I asked Brad what he was doing for Thanksgiving.
What did he say?
He said
back
he's going to spend it with his family and he cannot wait for the political conversations. He said, hey, we might never see Brad again. I actually was going to come over and say goodbye to Brad
That
today.
could be it. That might be right.
There's going to be a
you're
fist
right,
fight
though.
at Brad's table.
We never needed these Thursday games more than even this year because
Oh, my God.
we should probably have like all Thursday games this year.
I think it's going
Should
to be the
be
most
14
tense
Thursday
Thanksgiving across the country that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, your uncle voted for Trump.
Right.
He did. Or your grandfather.
Oh, someone at that table is lying to you. for
Someone
sure.
at that table was
Yeah.
like, thank God for Trump.
Yeah, someone's being too truthful and someone's lying. It's bad.
And there's somebody else at that table who was like, Hillary's a terrible candidate.
Yeah.
And she deserved to lose. And she was the wrong one. And there's so many landmines at that table.
And the
I can't
great thing
wait.
is like the Walmart, I don't know if it's Walmart, but some of the retailers are not opening on Thanksgiving. It's like, are you kidding me? You have to stay open.
Yeah, please. Everyone should be open.
Got to get away from the table. Kansas City at Denver. Good Sunday night game. I think
Are you
this
here
was
for
flexed.
Thanksgiving?
I'm around. Yep. I'll be here.
Who are you most worried about at your Thanksgiving table?
Maybe Don Barris. Our audience warm-up guy.
He's always a threat.
My friends Ken and
Yeah.
Harry will be there.
Oh,
it's
my
gonna be
God.
interesting. I know.
Oh, my Lord. All right, so what Sunday
Kansas
night,
City at Denver.
I have Broncos by 3.
All right, I get this. I said 3.5. They gave it the hook.
Really?
Makes you want to take the Chiefs, right?
Extra half point for the Chiefs coming off a loss.
Yeah. On the road.
Maybe Vegas thinks they can't score on that defense.
Maybe. I was just in Vegas. I should have asked. Monday. So I win the week.
You win the week.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Green Bay at Philly.
It's a fresh day. It's a new day for you.
We could pretend that one of these teams has a chance to make the playoffs, but it's just not so, I don't think.
Eagles by 3.
I said Eagles by 3 also, and that's what it is.
So I think the Eagles are good, but they have a flaw, is their receivers really let them down. Aguilar yesterday was just horrible. Like, he really killed them yesterday. And it seems to happen over and over again. And what's funny is they had the receiver, like Deshaun Jackson, who's not an all-pro, but he's good. He'll make some plays.
Well, he's been gone for years, though. Now.
I know, but they sent him away, and it's just funny. Like, they need somebody like him.
Yeah.
And they draft Aguilar to be that guy, and he just stinks.
It's always nice to have someone who could stretch
He
the
just
field.
can't. Like, they literally drafted the person to be that guy, and they just missed it. And these receiver picks over and over again, it just seems like a coin flip.
I feel like every week there's a trade rumor involving an Eagles trying to get a receiver or trading, or like Dorial Green Beckham. They're trying to get him. They're trying to trade him. It's like,
Right.
Figure this out by now.
Well, is the trade deadline over?
Yeah,
It
now
is, right?
But
That's a team that should have traded for a receiver, because
Sure.
I think they're good. Like,
Right.
they needed some just reliable dude who they could go to on 3rd and 8, and that's what they don't have. And Wentz, he sails the ball sometimes. He does some young QB things, but I think if they had a reliable 3rd down guy, they're throwing to Zach Ertz a lot yesterday, and he was
Right.
good.
They split up the running. Yeah, I think they had like 100 yards with 4 rushers or something. But yeah, they seem like they play a road game against a tough team every week. Don't they? It's weird.
I'm impressed by them. I think
5-5 in last place.
it's a deceiving 5-5. They're in these
Meanwhile,
games.
Green Bay, we said they're done, and yeah,
Green Bay is more than done.
I mean, I think that's 3 weeks that Aaron Rodgers has led the team in rushing with 33 yards. But it's their defense. It's despicable.
Defense is bad, and they seem to just shoot themselves in the foot offensively over and over again. So we have 10 minutes. We're going to call house for the
All right.
the Callaway par 3, but quickly.
Yeah.
Ward over Kovalev.
Yeah.
I was shocked that we won, but not shocked because it's Vegas and you never know. I had it either 6-6 or 7-5.
Kovalev. Yeah.
No, I had it 7-5 Ward or 6-6.
Oh, wow.
Those were the two. I don't think Kovalev won 7 rounds.
Oh, see,
I thought it was 6-6. You could have talked me into 7-5 Ward. But 6-6 just seemed like the logical for what we watched.
And then Kovalev gets the extra point for the knockdown.
And it's over.
So
And I thought it was going to be 114, 113.
that's it. And then when you hear
Kovalev.
it 3 times, 114, 113, like, okay, there's no way one judge saw Ward winning 7 rounds. Because you had to, even if you had him winning the last 5, you had to have him winning 1 of 1 through 4, which was tough, and 1 of 5 through 7, which is tough. So
I had him 4-3 through 7. Kovalev.
Yeah.
I had Kovalev up 4-3.
Right.
But he also had the hammer with the knockdown.
Right.
I thought Ward lost the 10th round, which was weird because the judges felt like he did better in the 10th round than the 12th round. I thought he clearly won the 12th round.
It's just weird when you have a guy on a run like Ward. Like, he has a run, he's winning, he's doing well in the last 5 rounds. To break the run, Kovalev has to really outscore him in that 10th round. And I do think you're right. Like, I think he might have won the round, but it's
He won
strange.
one of
Give it
those
to him.
last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, I don't see how you give Ward the 7th round unless you gave him basically the last 5. I mean, I'm sorry, the 7-5, unless you gave him like the last 5 rounds.
Right.
And that's, I don't know.
Last 5.
Oh
And then
no,
1
you'd have to
through
give him
4.
4 of the last 5. I had him 4-3, down 4-3, going into the 8th. And I was worried I was being generous that it might have actually been 5-2.
I think they gave him the last 5. I didn't check. I think they usually have it. But the crowd, I was there, and it was so pro Ward. And that might have just been an
You think that swung it too?
Bring America together. If it's close, we're giving it to Ward. Judges were American. If Kovalev wins, he maybe, they want 2-3 fights out of this. And if Kovalev wins, he has the belts. He maybe doesn't offer a rematch. So,
I thought Ward was brilliant. I really thought
Great.
it was like one of the great fights that somebody's had in a while where they just kind of, they knew they were a little bit outgunned and they had to figure out as the fight went along how to win it, which is something he's been really good at his whole career. But he started going to the body to try to sap Kovalev's power a little bit, and it worked.
he was scoring on those lunging body shots.
And Kellerman was on it early, but Kovalev, I just didn't think had the same power the last 6 rounds. And that's why I didn't think, I was okay with the 114, 113 for either guy.
Right.
But
It wasn't a screw job. It was probably
it was
one way.
really super close. Yeah. And it's hard. It's like Hagler Leonard. There's fights that happen every once in a
Well,
while
they'll do
where
it
it's
again.
like, I don't know.
But that is great to Ward's credit. Like, how many times you see a really good boxer get knocked down in the second round? It's like, oh, crap. He's going to lose like 117, 111. He just found a way.
I was
Figured it
worried
out.
with that jab he took in the first round. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Just like a straight
Top of that.
lefty hard jab. And he was like really flustered by it. It was like, oh, that's not a good sign. And Kovalev, he just seems so much bigger in those first couple rounds. It's so funny that these guys are the same weight and one guy just seems 30 pounds heavier.
And when you've lost in the strength battle early on, that is mentally, that's tough to overcome. Good job by Andre Ward.
Boxing, so I think Kellerman threw out Leonard Hearns early about how the fight went one way early and then Leonard figured out what to do and kind of shifted it.
Right.
Which is where it wasn't as dramatically as when Leonard shifted it because he knocked Hearns down. But I did feel like Ward, as it went along, he figured out exactly how far to stand, when to hold,
Right.
hitting the body, when to move away from his right. And he's just so smart.
Yeah.
Really, he's something.
It's great to watch.
I thought that he
We're
was
going the
surprised.
rematch. We're
I
going
thought
the
that he
rematch.
was surprised when he won. I know he denied that he wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought that camera angle was pretty telling.
Well, a lot of people were, and then when they announce it, 114, 113,
then it seemed like Kovalev.
but then they say, and new. And
Right.
like, even then, like, oh, Andre Ward's the favorite. He's the crowd favorite. Like, if it's a new champ, but then, like, everyone put it together late, then it was Kovalev lost.
I heard 114, 113. I was like, Kovalev.
Yeah, 3 times.
Because that seemed like the right score.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you're not getting that decision in America if you're Russian.
No.
Sorry, you're just not. Wrong month.
Not
Wrong
this
month,
time.
Kovalev.
Sorry.
You
Yep.
blew it. The undercard was horrible.
It wasn't that good. I saw
And
the
that
last
guy,
two.
that
Yeah.
guy Hooker in the fight right before, who somehow got
He was a -1, a 4-5. That was a draw, right? That was
it
the
was
draw you're
a
talking about?
highway robbery. He got his ass
He's a
kicked.
big favorite.
Yeah, that one. Boxing's so corrupt.
Yeah.
And why don't they have 5 judges? Just have 5.
Yeah,
Why do
I
you have
know.
3?
Well, you'd have to spend another like
2 more.
$1,200 or
Oh
something.
wow!
to pay.
These guys are. What do they do all day?
But,
And poor Larry Merchant's been off on his scoring for these fights for like 5 years now.
Larry Merchant? No.
Larry Merchant and Kovalev winning like 116 to 111.
Howard Letterman? Howard Letterman, you mean?
No,
Larry Merchant?
Harold Letterman. Sorry,
Yeah.
Larry Merchant. Harold Letterman. Yeah. He's like, okay, Jim.
Who did he have?
I have the
Kovalev?
first 5 rounds for Kovalev. I was like, I don't know if he won the fight. Like, Kellerman was getting mad.
Yeah.
He's like, I respectfully disagree. I thought Ward won 2 of those.
Yeah.
So Goldberg, Lesnar.
I missed it. I'm going to have to watch today, but didn't last long?
No, it's just basically comes out, spear, might have done
Suplex.
3 spears, did the move, the suplex move, and then just pinned him.
He only did one? Like, that's the thing people go to see, the 17 suplex cities.
Either Goldberg's body couldn't have held up for a whole match, or
Wow.
they were sending a message to Lesnar with this UFC stuff, with
What's
the
the
fact that he
message?
went there, the PDs. He's been hurting guys. Like he hurt Randy Orton. Nobody knows if like he went too far when he hurt Randy Orton with the concussion. So
Oh.
there might have been a little. All right,
Oh, really?
dude. Yeah, a
Oh,
little.
it's so good. They can't trust the guy to.
Yeah, it's
script
a little
out.
water throw on Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Yeah. All right, buddy. You're gonna lose in 2 minutes.
Right.
So yeah,
Interesting.
Goldberg, and then he brought his son out after, and his son took his shirt off. Which I was talking to Shoemaker and those guys who were doing our post game show. It's like, do we ever find out why Goldberg took the shirt off? And then Shoemaker said, your son never has his shirt on. You probably shouldn't talk. I said, it's a great point. My son definitely, if I was Goldberg, my son definitely would have had his shirt off.
Right.
And done the whole thing. Then I was thinking, like, I probably cheated my son that I wasn't a professional wrestler because, like, he was really everything in his life has been leading to him being brought out to the ring by his dad to
Right.
pose after a match.
Well, there's
And
still time.
Okay.
And there's
Maybe I'll be a
vitamins
manager.
you could take. There's a whole bunch of things.
could be a manager. So yeah, it was a 3.5 hour pay per view this time,
Wow.
which was usually they go 4.
Yeah,
this
they go
one was
4. They kept it light.
I'm gonna call house for the Callaway Part 3. Sal, you have to go.
Yeah, let me just plug Cousin Sal's shirt thing. 0-3. We're gonna post
That's all right.
early
You got
Thursday.
that.
I'm coming back strong. Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. Shia LaBeouf, Anna Camp, Green Day, and we have our Red Show tomorrow, Tuesday. Julia Roberts, to benefit AIDS. Bono, DJ Khaled, Neil Patrick Harris, Brandon Flowers. Big show.
My
So watch
God.
that. Yeah.
A lot of names on that show.
times.
All right,
Good
Sal.
ones.
I'm going to give you a very sad good job by you.
Good job. Bad job by me. But I'll be back.
Good job. You'll be back. We
right.
got it back there. Sad to everyone at the Thanksgiving table.
Love to House.
All
Thank
right.
you. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, Joe House is on the line. Hey, House, how are you?
How do you like me now? How do you like me now?
Well, speaking of things we like, let's talk about Sonos. It's a smart speaker system that streams all your favorite music to any room or every room. It could have even potentially screamed the Kirk Cousins. They'll make a song out of "How Do You Like Me Now," right? They'll do some sort of.
Oh, I think it's a very nice compliment to you like that.
Right. Somebody will smash those together. It'd be great. You can play it on Sonos. Control your music with one simple app on your phone or iPad or any other device. You can fill your home with pure immersive sound. Sonos brings your music together in one simple app. It's all your favorite music services. You control everything from the choice of songs to the volume of the rooms. Play your music in any room or every room, or play a different song in the living room, bedroom, even bathroom. Play the same track in every room, whatever you want. How do you have a party without Sonos? Seriously, how? I don't know. Add your existing music services or discover something new. Go to Sonos.com right now. All right, Joe House is on the line. Usually we do this at the end of the week. We're doing it at the beginning of this week because we're going to do the Callaway Par 3, and we're doing all 3 Thanksgiving games. We went 1-2 last week on the Callaway Par 3. We agreed on Miami. They saved our butts. I had Arizona. I don't regret the pick. I think Arizona, if they play that game 10 times, they probably win 8. Some stupid stuff happened. I don't feel bad about that pick. I'm not going to apologize to you, America. Joe House should apologize.
I'm not
You did a bad
apologizing
thing.
for anything.
You did a bad
did
thing.
not-
I told you
I
you did
did
a
the
bad
right
thing when it
thing.
happened. It was the wrong thing. I know why you did it. You're in some, your picks stink this year, so you're in some reverse jinx thing. I'm not allowing you to pick against Washington again on the Callaway Par 3. I'm not doing that to Callaway. Callaway deserves better. I know why you did it. You knew the Packers sucked, and you still took them plus 2.5. The Washington should have scored 50 points in that game. You suck. I'm mad at you.
I know you're mad at me. There were a lot of very defensible trend lines suggesting a Packers performance, including a lot of wise guy action on the Packers.
Great.
People thought that Washington favored in that spot by that many points was too much. I mean, I was on the right side of the wise guys with that one.
Listen, you tainted one of the great nights in recent Washington football history. And nobody's going to remember that because Dan Snyder decided to taint it even further by dancing to Jump Around in the luxury suite. And I think it was an intentional move to become an internet gift today. I think he knew what he was doing.
Speaking of taint, by the way, this moment, historical for the Washington professional football team in the last 20 years, happens to coincide with the ownership of none other than Mr. Jump Around himself. This is the best record that the Deadskins have had through 10 games in 20 years.
Is that true?
It's true fact. 6-3-1. Think about that for a second.
Dan Snyder, congratulations.
Right.
Wow. Well, I think the funniest thing about all of this will be if they make the NFC title game and lose, and then Kirk Cousins leaves and signs with another team. And then all he does is do a press conference where he just says, "You like that?" and he leaves. And he goes to like,
that would be so. That's rude. My feelings are hurt. Why would he do that?
he would do that
They're gonna
because
pay
you,
him.
you didn't give him a giant contract, and he bet on himself, and now he can go wherever he wants.
Speaking of Giant, I think I'm going to look this up right now just to confirm it. I'm pretty sure the Deadskins and the Giants are the last game of the season, the last regular. That could be for that last playoff spot in the NFC.
Is that true? Hold on, I'm looking it.
I'm pretty sure. Let's look it up.
I'm looking it up for you right now. Yes, at Washington.
That's a great one. And the Deadskins have a pretty good track record over the last handful of years in that last game of the season, playoff berth on the line kind of gig. They've beaten Dallas a couple times, in fact, under those circumstances.
Giants are 7-3. They play Cleveland. They're going to go 8-3. Then they're at Pittsburgh, home for Dallas, home for Detroit. I think that's 2 more losses out of those 3. That brings them to
I
5
agree.
losses at Philly week 16. That feels very lossy. And they'll either be at 5 or 6 losses heading into that at Washington game. You guys have just a Thanksgiving murder. The at Dallas 3.5 days after you played on a Sunday night. The schedule gods just did not like you.
It's like a matter of hours, right? I think it's unprecedented to go from a Sunday night game where they basically walk off the field at like 12:30 in the morning and have to play another professional football game that starts at what is it, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock against Dallas? Like,
It's
has
outrageous.
any team played with under less number of hours in between games?
It's got to be nearing a record. I have this vague memory of somebody having to play the 9:30 game after a Sunday night game, but I don't quote me on that one. Yeah, so I'm going to assume you're going to lose that game, but who knows, because you can throw the ball and make these 70-yard plays every once in a while, so I wouldn't rule it out. Then you're at Arizona. And
Winnable.
Then is this true? You're also at Philly? How is that possible?
Yeah, it's true. We hosted Philly 3 weeks ago.
You 5 of your last. I must have written something down wrong. You can't have 5 of your last 6 at home. I mean, on the road. That doesn't make sense.
They played a ton of games at home.
1, 2, 3. I wrote one of those down wrong. Oh, and then
Okay.
you also had the London game too. So
Oh, right.
yeah. So basically, if you're within, you beat the Giants already, and as long as you're within a win of them and you beat them again, you win the tiebreaker and you're good. That's how I look at it.
It seems like there's going to be 2 teams from the NFC East in the playoffs.
There
right?
might be 3.
Well, the North is only going to place 1 team, we think. We don't think
Same
the
for
North
the
is going
South.
to get. Yeah, the same for the South.
And then the
And
West.
same for the West.
Yeah, you might have 3. I mean, I would not rule out the Eagles yet, even though they're 5-5. I still think they could flip this pretty quickly too. They have Green Bay on Monday night this week, and then at Cincy, home for Washington, at Baltimore, Giants, Dallas.
Well, it's not an easy
Not
run.
easy. Yeah, I don't think we'll know
They're
for a couple
still a
more
year
weeks.
away. They need one receiver that can catch the ball.
I
Just
don't.
one.
I don't think you've done an adequate job enjoying this Deadskins season. I don't like that you've picked against them every week. I think it's un-American. I think you should be way more excited. You have nothing else in your sports life to be excited about. The Wizards are terrible. The
Wizards are terrible. They're terrible.
I tried to tell you they were going to be terrible, and you picked the over for them like a dumbass.
I did.
And then
I believed in them.
I don't know how the Capitals are doing. I can't look at hockey standings until February. Are they doing all
A
right?
little early yet.
Yeah.
They're doing fine.
Okay, good.
They're doing what they should be doing.
But you should be way more excited about your football team. And I don't really, I think you hate the owner so much that even when you have a really fun football team, which you do, this is one of the 3 or 4 most fun football teams in the league, you resent the owner so much you can't enjoy it.
It felt like at the beginning of the season, I saw so much of the same kind of disarray and disorganization, and not up to the moment. They got blown out by Pittsburgh in the first game. They gave away the Dallas game early on there. I mean, it looked like we might be headed for another 7-9, 8-8 at best kind of season. So I just wasn't ready to invest. That the Detroit loss was a tough one. They took the lead and then gave it right back in the last minute. But they can really move the ball on offense. They're very fun to watch on offense. And Cousins now has his full swagger. He's in full Cousins swag right now. And when he's playing confident like that, and all credit, how about Bill Callahan on the line?
Yeah.
With the offensive line. I mean, it's just amazing. There's 5 guys that if they walked up to me right now, I think only Sheriff is the only guy that I would actually recognize. The other 4, I would say, that's a giant human being that I don't recognize.
Hogs.
I couldn't even name the names.
Hogs 2.0, baby hogs, modern hogs. What do they have a nickname yet?
They're massive hogs. I mean, they're like twice the size of the hogs.
Yeah.
They ran that stat last night during the NBC broadcast of how small the hogs actually were. They had Jeff Bostic as 6'2", 245 pounds.
I mean, that's everything you want to know about what's wrong with football heading into the second part of this decade. All your offensive linemen are like 100 pounds heavier than every hog.
Yeah, our left tackle is 6'8", 330 pounds.
Yeah. I wonder why people are getting hurt. Well, you're not nearly excited enough about the fact that you have a star running back named Fat Rob.
Oh, it's just the best thing that could have ever happened. I had this conversation with a pal of mine, local pal of mine here this morning. All credit to Gruden. On the offensive side of the ball, he's really showing a kind of savvy that has felt like it's been missing really since Joe Gibbs. They moved on from Matt Jones so quickly.
Yeah.
Like the second fumble Matt Jones put on the ground, he said, "That's it. We don't need a guy that's going to put the ball on the ground." I don't even know where Matt Jones is. He might be in Siberia now.
Right.
But Rob Kelly, guy that can just hold on to the ball, and he runs north-south hard. I love Rob. I love Fat Rob. You kidding?
Fat Rob won my fantasy week for me last week on a 70-yard run. That last one.
Congrats.
I was so
how about
excited.
that?
I really needed it. I needed Fat Rob to come through for me, and he did. And normally Fat Rob is Rob Kardashian, and you never really actually count on him in any real way. And this Fat Rob actually came through. But I think you have a really fun team. You have a lot of weapons. I like Crowder. Crowder got sneaky good about 5 weeks ago. We're kind of going on the radar, like, who's that guy? Where'd he? And he's making plays. Jordan Reed. You got to keep Jordan Reed on the field. How many concussions he's had? He's had at least 3, right?
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
So that's an X factor. I mean, there's pieces here that would concern
Jackson,
me.
Garcon, when you have all those weapons, Garcon had a nice catch last night.
Yeah. Your defense isn't very
Remind us he's
good.
Still alive.
I thought the
defense is smoke and mirrors.
The Packers, it was one of those games where if you play that game 10 times, there's probably 5 different scenarios where they have 38 points. They had some bad drops and stupid things, but there were guys open.
Right.
Like the plays were there. They just didn't make them.
Our defense is opportunistic, which is exactly the problem going into Dallas this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't have high hopes for that game. That travel schedule it's one of the craziest things I've seen in a while. All right, so Callaway Par 3 every week we pick 3 games where you're dedicated in Callaway Par 3 to the Thanksgiving. But why don't you tell our friends about Callaway really quick? Quick.
Yeah, it's holiday time. How about some golf balls, friends? Callaway Chrome Soft, the ball that changes the ball. Come on, enter promo code HOUSE. They will ship you some Chrome Softs for free. Get some for yourself. It's a wonderful time of year to celebrate friends and yourself. Callaway Chrome Soft, the ball that changes the ball. Enter promo code HOUSE and have them sent to your house for free.
I was going to start playing golf again next month because I don't have a TV show anymore. And
you're available. I'm
available and played basketball. Tate was there with my daughter. And she was putting on a show. She's got school season coming up. She hasn't touched a basketball in 11 months and somehow got better, which I can't figure out. But I got excited. I started shooting and started playing. Next day I can't walk. I'm so old. I'm just so old and broken down.
I'm relieved. I thought I was going to hear about an ankle turn or jam thumb where you're going to be on the shelf for a month.
Yeah,
at least it's just you can't move. It's just the regular old guy syndrome.
Tate can vouch. I was making shots. I was thinking comeback. I was like, I might have to get in shape again. Tate's like, you should come back. Let's do this.
Look good in the moment.
Yeah. Sunday morning could not walk. And
terrible idea.
Didn't do anything. Didn't run. All I did was shoot threes and guard my daughter a couple times.
It's for the youth. The basketball is for the youth. It's time for golf, my friend.
Time for golf. Well, I need to start doing PDs. All right, 3 Thursday games, and we have to agree on all 3 of these picks. Lions against the Vikings. And that line, I think, is the Lions by, what was it, Tate? 3?
Yeah, 3.
I see 2.5. I saw it open at 3, and I saw it 2.5.
Who do you like?
Couple competing factors. Lions 4-1 so far this season, straight up and against the spread at home.
Mm-hmm.
They also have won their last 3 games on Thanksgiving. On the other hand, the Vikings have a very good record under Mike Zimmer against divisional opponents, 6-3 in division games against the spread, and the Vikings are 5-1 all time on Thanksgiving.
I have just
so no discernible trend.
To interrupt you, I have the Vikings +3 in this. I mean, I have the line. I have the line as 3. I think we should
play it at 3. I like the Vikings.
I do too.
That's where I end up on this.
let's grab the points. I think that their defense looked like their defense yesterday. That things were happening that encouraged me for the future of the Vikings.
They were not. They only blitzed. I saw a little stat. They only blitzed about 10% of the time. They had 4 sacks on Carson Palmer. I like that trend. I also, at some point, Detroit, that them winning at the very end of games in miraculous ways tends to catch up to a team. So yeah, let's take the points in Minnesota.
The Colts have played a shit sandwich of a schedule. They basically played the AFC South and all the crappy teams in their division. And the 2 toughest teams they have played are the Eagles, which, that was one of those games the Eagles did everything wrong and still almost won. And then they beat your Skins 20-17 in an either-or game. I don't remember much about that game. Why didn't you score more than 17 points against Detroit?
I have no idea. It was back when Cousins was still in a little bit of a funk. They couldn't move the ball at all. Jordan Reed missed the game with a concussion and
pre-fat Rob, no fat Rob yet.
Pre-fat Rob. They were still in search of the Deadskins.
So they kind of lucked out with the timing. I'm just not sold on the Lions. I like the Vikings.
You said the Colts. You meant the Lions.
I meant the Lions.
I got confused.
Yeah,
I flipped over to the Colts real quick. No, we're talking about the Lions.
My bad. Yeah, the Lions. All right, Vikings +3. That's our first one. Second one, the Deadskins getting 7 in Dallas. 7 points now.
Just got to take Dallas. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You keep going. I've gone against Dallas, probably half the times this season, and they just cover every week. I thought for sure the Ravens at 7.5, the most formidable defense Dallas has faced all season long, and honestly, Baltimore played well enough to cover that 7.5 nut. God damn, Joe Flacco stinks. Why does he stink so much? He sucks. How many of those passes where that West Coast style rhythm pass, where the slot guy, the guy comes out of the slot or a back comes out of the backfield, is he going to overthrow or underthrow at this point in his career?
It's inexplicable. It's more inexplicable that he's so good in the playoffs and that he's so terrifying to Patriot fans and that he won a Super Bowl. It's almost like there's 2 Joe Flaccos. I think I wrote that column once. I have a vague memory of writing the 2 Flaccos. So can we talk about this some more? Because I think we should take the Washington professional football team and grab the points.
Oh, no.
Well, here's why.
How? What's the theory?
Because you can throw the ball. And even if you're down 14 with 4 minutes left, you can still get a cheap touchdown.
The problem I have is,
could you win the game?
Dallas has an underwhelming defense. It's not a defense that instills fear. The problem is they control the ball so much. They go on these long drives, 16-play, 17-play, 8-minute drives, and you have the ball so little if you're a team like the Deadskins. Like the Deadskins defense is exactly the wrong formula against this Dallas ball control offense. I mean, Elliott might have, Zeke might go for 190 yards. So they're just going to pound them. And it's only a touchdown. That's if it was 7.5, I might consider it, but 6.5 or 7.
Well, guess what? I have some bad news for you. About 10 minutes ago, I told you weren't allowed to take any Washington games in the Callaway Par 3. So your opinion is voided. Your opinion does not matter. It's been invalidated by your weeks and weeks of serial abuse with Washington. I'm taking +7 for us on our behalf.
Redskins +7.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They might win the game, who the hell knows. Or cheap touchdown.
Okay.
Hey, they're designed for the cheap touchdown.
It would be the generous thing for Dallas to do. Up by 14 with 4 minutes left. The generous thing would be to allow a late touchdown.
Or up by 13. Who the hell knows? The only thing that worries me is I hate taking a team off a great win, but
Dallas has a whole bunch of great wins.
I know. Hold on, let me look at this some more.
That game would never felt in doubt. Baltimore. It was an ass kicking.
You beat the Vikings. You beat the terrible Packers. You tied the Bengals. You lost to the Lions. You beat the Eagles. You barely beat the Ravens. You beat the Browns. You beat the Giants. Ooh, you played the Cowboys twice close in the last game. I forgot about that.
The Redskins should have won that game. They
All right,
were
we're
up.
taking. All right, we're taking Washington. Second division game. This would be close. It'll be a good one. All right, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. The line is Pittsburgh. Is that right? Pittsburgh by 3. Okay. I'm just never taking the Colts. I watch them. I've watched them way too much this season. I don't understand how they're good. I see holes all over the field. Luck is under duress all the time. I just don't get it. Taking the Steelers, unless you want to talk me out of it.
Well, there's some. This is a real, true, unstoppable force, immovable object game from a trend point of view.
Okay.
Are you aware that the Colts have never lost on Thanksgiving? And are you aware that since 1970, the Steelers are 0-5 straight up on Thanksgiving Day?
Okay.
And are you aware that since 2012, Andrew Luck's rookie season, the Colts are 9-1 against the spread when they're home dogs?
Okay. Are you aware that there's going to be 20,000 Steeler fans there?
Here's the other side of it. The Steelers in prime time have been murdering teams. The average score of the last 3 primetime games for the Steelers, 42-13. Ben Roethlisberger has loved playing the Colts. The last 2 times he's gone up against the Colts, he has thrown for 364 yards with 4 touchdowns and 522 yards and 6 touchdowns.
You left out the part that the Steelers need this game more than the Colts do. The Colts are in that crap division. There's no must win with this game. With the Steelers, they can't throw games away.
The Steelers have to win.
They have to win this game. Listen, I look at it this way. It's Thursday night. You and I have both eaten 20 pounds of turkey and a whole bunch of stuff. We've had dessert, and this game comes on West Coast time. I won't be hungry yet, but East Coast time you will be. It's right around 8:30. You'll probably wanting to eat again.
It'll be second meal time.
What quarterback scares you more, Luck or Roethlisberger? And for me, it's Roethlisberger. I'm just scared of Roethlisberger.
Luck and Hilton in the dome. I'm going to feel like a moron. I'm going to go along with you because at the end of the day, when I'm sitting there, you just described it perfectly. I'm on the couch. My pants are half unbuttoned and maybe even halfway down at this point. And I'm watching this. I don't want to root for the Colts. I don't want to be Thursday night, fat in the belly, and having to root for the Colts. I just don't like it.
And Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I don't want to go against those guys on Thursday night. I just don't.
Me either.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to win by 2, and we're just going to send angry texts to each other.
The Steelers are going to win, and I'm going to write, you F-face, you made me take the Steelers. Yeah,
all right.
Let's take the Steelers. We're in agreement.
We're taking all the road teams, which feels like a red flag.
That's dumb. That's terrible.
That feels like a red flag.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take Dallas. Should I flip that Dallas pick?
Yes. They're going to win and cover.
What do you think, Tate?
Yeah, I say Dallas.
All right. We're not taking 3 road teams. We're taking Dallas. Dallas -7. We'll take the Vikings +3.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas -7. And the Steelers -3 on the Callaway par 3. Thanks to Simply Safe. Remember, there's a better way to protect your home with award-winning protection at a ridiculously affordable price. It's all at Simply Safe. No long-term contract, 24/7 protection for just $15 a month. Unfortunately, the Wizards did not get Simply Safe for Bradley Beal's contract. Go to simplysafebs.com. You get a 60-day money-back guarantee as well as free shipping on your order and a free keychain remote. Thanks to Sonos, the smart speaker system that streams all your favorite music to any room, every room. Control your music with one simple app. Fill your home with pure immersive sound. You can even drown out your relatives at Thanksgiving if they're talking about politics. Add your existing music services or discover something new. Go to Sonos.com right now. Thanks to Don Julio. Thanks to Callaway. Thanks to TheRinger.com and the Ringer Podcast Network. I am not sure if we have another podcast this week. I think it's going to depend on tomorrow. We might not if we don't. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays to you, House. I look forward to texting you to see how much you ate this weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving, my favorite, very favorite holiday of the year.
I was going to say, there's no doubt what your favorite holiday of the year is. It's the one where everybody eats to the point of they want to vomit. Thanksgiving.
Woo!
All right. Thanks, House. Talk to you soon.